Welcome back to our weekly training on new home sales. We truly believe that new home sales is a pioneering contributor to real estate industry and the real estate market. If you take a look at your community, if you take a look at your city, if you take a look at your place, you will find new homes, you'll find new commercial buildings, you'll find new residential buildings, you'll find new apartments, everything new. New is a huge contributor to the real estate industry, and this is why we do trainings on this every single week. We believe that most brokers need to overlap their business with new home sales, whether you're representing a buyer who's buying a new home sales, whether you're in land acquisition, whether you're a builder, whether you're a developer. We believe that you need to focus and put your focus on new home sales. Our thought of the day is imagination. It is amazing how I got 4 of my own children, but it's amazing when you talk to children and you ask, what are you going to be when you grow up? And how children, without having a bound on their imagination, just go on talking about what they truly imagine. They talk about how they're going to achieve that. They simply talk about how they're going to obtain it, and so forth. But what's unique is at a certain age, once we grow up, something happens to our imagination. It kind of starts to fade out. And sadly, it starts to fade out, and most people stop imagining what they could truly do with their life. They stop imagining what they can truly do with their business. But I like artists. And the reason I compliment artists, whether a person's taking his car, his house, or whatever else, is because they are contributing their imagination to reality. A guy bought a car and then he thinks like, hey, if I put some rims on it, if I tint it, he's cultivating imagination about what to do with that car to transition it from where it's at to where he wants it to be. Same thing with buildings, same thing with new homes. People are imagining what they don't have to what they want to have, and we are facilitators on helping that come to fruition. So as a child, children imagine what they can do with their life. And I hope that you would not settle for what you have, that you would imagine big and understand that through imagination you can allow it to come to fruition if you truly set your life to it. So spend time to imagine. Spend time to think about things that are in the future of your life. The previous lesson we talked about the life of a salesperson. And again, we're very particular why we put the word life. It's a developing aspect of your life. You cannot just be a sales manager. And we know how a lot of people are those filler people. They just fill a position for the sake of the position. And we all know it turns out usually very sour. And my whole goal is that you would embrace this life of a sales manager, but not just be a filler of a sales manager. You embrace this life of being a real estate broker, the lifestyle of what it takes, picking up calls and growing your service portfolio, understanding new homes, understanding resale, understanding distress. Embrace this lifestyle where you're learning all these aspects of real estate because it is truly your lifestyle. It is not because it's a filler position or you just need a job. So we talked about the life of a sales manager, what it takes, how you got to motivate the team, how you got to work your back end, how you have to function and fulfill everything that is needed to fulfill that concept of a sales manager. Today, we're going to talk about the life of a builder. A lot of people love building. They do. Whether it's building their shed in their own backyard, building out their deck, getting a hot tub and building out a really nice patio around that jacuzzi or hot tub. People love building. And there truly is a career, the life of a builder, where a person just doesn't do it on the side or a side project or a project in their own backyard, but they make it their career. They make it their life. What do I mean by that? They understand the concept of truly building a home. From foundation to roofing to excavation to landscaping to the interiors, to the exteriors, to what's truly going in between the walls. I mean, this builder is a person who learns how to build homes. And this is a very unique job. It's a very unique career, but it's really rewarding. And today we're going to talk about the life of the builder, because I believe brokers need to have some consideration of what a life of a builder looks like, what a life of an investor looks like, what a life of a developer looks like, so we could slowly associate ourselves with these people. We are salespeople. We have to associate with ourselves with buyers or sellers or investors or builders or developers. And today we're going to talk about the builder. The builder is a person who sits there and puts a project together. I'd say the first thing is project planning. A builder's job is to plan the project out. How are we going to construct something on this lot? What is this construction going to look like? How does it fit with the whole economy of the community or the city and so forth? How does it fit within the context of the market? How does it fit within the context of everything that has to do with that lot? I mean, if it's a single-family residential community and most of the homes are one stories, you're not going to build a 5-story building there. I mean, it is obvious. But that is part of the builder's life, is to go into and feel out what does it all look like. If all the homes are historical homes, or all of the homes are 1 stories or 2 stories, this builder needs to fill out that community and understand what kind of product he's going to bring on there. So figuring out, project managing, understanding the project planning process before even starting the project. Builders do a lot of on-site management. They go on the site of that lot. They look at utilities. What's the best way to bring utilities to the property? What's the best way to dig up soil? What's the best way to do a driveway? If we need to do any additional compaction. So builders, they spend a lot of time on site. Even owners with layers of employees, I see a lot of the owners go by their subdivisions or go by their communities and do site visits. It's important, but it's part of the life of the builder. He wants to see how things are constructed above ground or below ground. And this is very important. So the builder will do site visits. And if you're a broker, go on that planning meeting with that builder. Go on that planning meeting or that site visit and just ask the builder questions. What are you looking for? What are you seeing? What do you like about this community? Why did you decide to build these homes here? Ask the builder these engaging questions so you can understand what the builder is trying to build in this community. Collaboration with subcontracting. I say building a home is like manufacturing. There's so many pieces that come together to bring something to fruition. And there's usually about 45 line items that come together. These pieces, they come together to bring about a house, a final product. Just like assembling a car or assembling an iPhone or a pad or a computer, there's an assembling line. And everybody does their part. They put their efforts in their category towards the object of the final product. And the final product is building a house. So the builder is working with subcontractors, the windows, the siding guy, the roofing guy, the interiors, the millwork, the flooring, the cabinets, the countertops, the lighting, and all of this, the paint guys, the final landscape package, and so forth. Then there's client communications. A builder knows and learns how to communicate with the client and try to pull out what the client really wants in their home. Whether it's production built and the client just wants, a new paint touch up or a different paint color on there, or it's a full custom or a semi-custom home. But client communications is a crucial thing with builders. And those builders who do really well in client communication usually do very well for their whole building business. Then administration responsibilities, and then long-term business management. So this is kind of the back end of the life of the builder. So the builder is in planning meetings, he's on site figuring out how to get things done, he's on scheduling subcontractor, and then he has his administration on the back end. That means their payrolls, whether he has to pay taxes and ordering lumber and material and all of this. This is all the admin work, scheduling, putting things on the calendar, putting contracts together. This is all the things the builder does on the back end just to keep the legality of the company and everything flowing smoothly through the whole process. This is the life of a builder. I've known a lot of clients that decided to be self-built and built their own homes and be builders, and it's a very unique opportunity and a very unique, phenomenal opportunity to go through the whole process and build your own home and wear that cap as a builder. But again, one of the things I like about builders is there's so much uniqueness to it. And I always say there's a signature on each house of the CEO of the builder, because there's an imagination that's engraved in the home. When the builder was putting the home together, he imagined it in his head before he tried to even put it on the assembly line. He engaged in imagination to understand how that home best is situated, what best color choices, and so forth. And this is why I like building. And I think this is why most people like building or being in the building industry, is because it engages your imagination to the reality of the things. And I love looking at small projects, whether it's a small 500 square foot, 1,000 square foot condo, to massive thousands of square feet, and looking at the flow of the house. You have this side of the home, this side, you have lighting, you have swimming pools, you have outdoor living, you have indoor living, and you look at the engagement of the imagination that takes place. It's phenomenal. And for brokers, I highly recommend looking at those YouTube channels of home tours, new home tours, community tours, so you could start to engage and see the back end and the front end work of all that takes place for the builders. Also, there's many videos on the aspect of how a home is constructed, from the framing to the rough-ins and to the finishes and so forth. But I know that in most communities out there, there are new homes being built. Stop by that new home project. Take a look, ask questions, ask for a tour with that builder, and ask him to show you around the home and the uniqueness and how he came to be that he's building that home on that lot. And that is the best thing that you could do for yourself by increasing your services, but also engaging and learning how to work with builders. Why? Because new home sector is here to stay. It is a big sector right now in our local area, and I bet in your local area. And new is what people always want. So hopefully this training has helped you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via text, email, or any other way that is convenient for you, and we would love to interact more in the space of training and new home sales.